Recently, we received this question from a voice talent, anonymous by request.
I would love to go full-time in voiceover, but I'm not sure if my skills are enough to walk away from what I do now. I've trained with a few different places, I've booked work when I have time or energy to audition. I have agents, but I'm not landing much with them. Is there ever a point or is there a question you can answer that will reassure you one way or the other?
What Heidi and I have found is these questions are universal with those who are beginning or even those who have had some voiceover mileage under their belt. So we wanted to tackle this and hopefully it'll help you if you're in the same boat.
So let us break down two of the main questions here. The first question is, how do I know my skills are enough?
And number two, how do I know when the right time is to go full time? So let's talk skills first.
VO is an ongoing learning and development career.
Like actors, we're constantly striving to be the best talent we can be, training when we can.
Mike and I are still working to improve our skills, coaching with people at the top of this industry across multiple genres.
Not just performance-wise, but also business-wise.
Our mindset is to, one, hire a coach who will give you the tools, not just direct you. And this is especially true the longer you're in your career.
And two is from a quote from former Navy SEAL Commander Mark Devine. He says, "You've heard fortune favors the bold, but I find that fortune favors the prepared. And it's easier to be bold when you're prepared."
That said, here are the skills that we feel are imperative to jumping into a full-time voiceover career.
And then some actionable things that you can do to improve them.
The first thing is the ability to be directed. Much in this industry is subjective. Often a client or director has a particular idea in mind, but the easier you are to direct, the more valuable you are as a talent.
So the action item to this is why we offer the Industry Pro workouts, Jill's monthly script workout, and Steve's character of you workout. These allow you an affordable way to get practice and getting directed. It's also one of the built-in benefits to our beginner voiceover intensive class as well.
Consistent practice is key since every director is different and communicates uniquely.
Every session you'll book, you'll find it could be a dance as you figure out what the creatives want as you work together to narrow down to the performance, the final product that they want from you.
And next, know your brand or value. Now, this is not a brand you create, this is you. You should know what you bring to the table and how it adds value to this industry.
The action portion, this is why we created the Business Branding and Marketing course. It takes you through a DIY approach to uncover your brand. If you want someone to help you figure it out, Heidi started private coaching sessions, and she covers that in her one-on-ones. Or you could schedule a time with any of our other private coaches.
And another skill is to be a self-starter, marketer. Now, for most of our careers, Mike and I booked auditions we did through our agents, and so received the majority of our VO income from those agents. But these days, you not only have to have agents, but you have to be able to market yourself.
Now, hear us on this. This is something that we believe everyone can develop.
It's not as much of a mystery as so many talent think it is. Most talent, in fact, tend to overthink it. I was in that boat as well.
I think we all were. Now, the action to this is why Nadia Marshall, Lead Generation course, was one of our panelists for this year's Give and Learn event. That was just a few days ago.
And we will continue to offer resources and training to help you develop this.
Don't skip out on the podcasts, the newsletter, and this YouTube channel either. That's where we give a lot of helpful business advice and tips, and it's all free.
Okay, next skill. Audio engineering. I know, you're in a creative field, but these days it's imperative to have a home studio and understand how to properly acoustically treat it so it sounds good and know how to use your DAW proficiently.
So the action? We cannot sing Larry Hudson's praises enough. He does our Learn Audacity and Learn Adobe Audition classes, and Heidi actually took the Learn Adobe Audition class way back in the day. She thought it was fantastic, right?
Oh, totally. He doesn't just teach you how to use these for VO, but also how to organize, be more efficient, and become faster.
Another action item, Dan Friedman. He's our recommended home studio expert. He offers home studio consultations so you can make sure your home studio sounds amazing.
Even if you can't afford a voiceover booth, Dan can help you determine where in your house or apartment to set up your studio and how to acoustically treat it so that it sounds great.
If you've mastered these, you have a great foundation for a successful career.
Now, when to go full time?
How do you know when to go full time? Okay, so I'm not going to say precisely we don't know your situation, but these are the guidelines that Mike and I have used.
We decided to when finances were in order. Now, this looks different for everyone because it's based on your expenses and your unique situation. So take into consideration making plans for health insurance, taxes, business expenses, etc.
Mike and I always try to have a year's worth of expenses and savings. So that way, if we have a month or several that are down in voiceover, which happens, we know we'll still be okay. It is an up and down industry, so just make sure that you're planning accordingly.
You may possibly be ready to go full-time when you have historic data. Don't just step out on hope. Make sure you've been able to book some jobs and have a little bit of momentum going.
If you can do VO part-time for a year, that will give you some great data for a better idea of which months are slower and how much you made year to date instead of per month.
This also gives you an idea of what you may typically book, which in turn can give you an idea of who to market to and how you can bring value. It'll also help you figure out which months may be lean, because they do happen.
Another great win is you are consistently planting seeds. This has been the greatest tool for us in creating a sustainable VO career.
So what does planting seeds look like?
Yeah. Not literal seeds, but it's reaching out to rosters, maintaining relationships with past clients, marketing to potential clients, etc.
Continuing to do this will help you grow a thriving voiceover business.
Those are some great guidelines that we really hope will help you.
But to show how each person's voiceover journey is unique, here's Heidi's quick story.
At the start of my VO career, I made enough to cover my expenses through VO and on-camera work after I quit my radio job. But my demo was put together by Mike. It was good. My website was created by me via a GoDaddy template, and I tallied up my income through Excel, and Mike and I shared our home studio.
Now, this was at a different time in the voiceover industry too. It was competitive, but it was still far less competitive than it is now.
And when we were booked, this was the time when we recorded in a professional studio in Atlanta.
Man, we drove places. But we share all this to simply say that while there may be a wise way to jumpstart your voiceover career, it eventually just comes down to jumping in order to start.
And here's something that was really good that Mike said in relation to jumping as well. He said he likens it to merging onto a highway where all the cars are going at least 65 miles an hour. Some are going 80 or more, and some are going 55, but you have to be at a certain speed to make it safely onto that highway.
And sticking with the highway metaphor, I ramped up to going full-time while working my full-time job in radio. And then when the radio station let me go and I had no choice but to go full-time, I was already making a solid living at it on the side. I really am grateful. At the time, I had just been too scared to make that jump. What I needed was a push, and radio gave me that.
Ooh. And there's also something else I'd like to mention here. Ask yourself why you want to go full-time in voiceover.
If it's because you love voiceover, it's your passion, you love the creativity and want to make it your career, that is great.
But if it's a status or ego thing, meaning you're trying to keep up with the voiceover Joneses, I guess that is a thing, don't let that be your motivation.
Motivation is fickle, and when times are tough, it's discipline to do the work, and do the work to get the work that gets you through.
So make sure you've got a good foundation, your motivation is legit, and that you understand you're building a business. Then you'll be well on your way.
Hope that helps. Coming up next week, Heidi and I have an exciting announcement for something we're offering at the studio that could help you reach your voiceover goals and possibly help get you to full-time if you're not there already.
That's Monday the 16th. And until then, cheers to you and your VO journey.
Thanks for watching.